is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
Let us get right into it. I'm going to indulge myself because I finally gave Terrence a great game recommendation. Terrence has been playing Moonlighter.
Yeah, this is the game I told Brad about Children of Morta, and this is their first game. This team 11-Bit Studios, I think.
Well, I think they're the publisher. I think different people developed it.
Oh, okay. Either way, it seemed like they're the same people. I don't know. Anyway, Moonlighter, if you remember what he told you 2 weeks ago, it's about you play a shopkeep that just kind of goes into dungeons and collects stuff and sells it at a shop. I think I might like the shopkeeping section more than the actual. It's fucking funny because you go into first of all, it ain't easy.
No.
Like, it is not easy at all. Like, Children of Morta is easy in this game. But they have like easy, hard, and insane mode. I'm like, what the fuck? Hard is the normal mode in this game.
Yes.
Very weird. So I put it on hard. And it is, you really have to grind to level up your equipment to get through this game. I'm only on the third dungeon. I can't beat it. I can't beat it. What is the third dungeon, the desert dungeon?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that one. I can't beat the boss yet. And I'm pretty powerful.
Gotta get those enchantments, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get that gear.
It is. I have level 3 everything. I don't know. Either way, it's fun. Like, you going into the dungeon and you like you said, it's old school Legend of Zelda. You attack diagonal. There's no diagonal attacks. It's up or down, left or right. Like, you collect stuff. The thing is the balance between collecting stuff and the stuff that you need to level up your gear, and then the stuff that you can sell. Like, you don't want to, like, I was trying to level up my what is it? Not the staff or the pike or whatever. And I had accidentally sold the stuff that I needed to level it up. I was like, fuck. So I had to go back into the dungeon and collect the stuff, but it wasn't easy to collect because it's like a rare item. That's why I sold it, because it was worth like 20,000 a piece or some shit like that. So I go back into the dungeon. I only found one. So you come back out. Okay, got to put this in the trunk and go back into the dungeon again. And hopefully, like, I don't die and lose all my shit. I got like $2 million now, so I'm good. But early on, it was tough. It's really fun. Like, again, I like the shopkeep section a little bit, like, more than the actual combat. And it's funny because when you level your shop up, you get a shopkeep who's a black woman. It is, and when you start the day, I mean, you can have her work for you. She gets like 30% if you put all the stuff you want her to sell into the trunk and you go into the dungeon yourself. Or when you start selling stuff, she puts her hair into like a bun right before they start selling stuff. And she like walks around the shop, making sure people don't steal. It's fun. Like, I really like it. And the art style is similar to Children of Morta, but a little bit, it's different. It's the same, like, 16-bit, whatever. It's fun. It's $7 on PlayStation Network right now until Thursday.
Well, I, for one, can't wait to play this game and pretend that Brad didn't talk about it and say how good it is.
Yeah,
a year from now.
Yeah, these are like, look, I'm starting to really like the indie games are where it's at, man. They're cheaper.
Well, especially because we're in a dearth of budget games just because of the inflation going on around the world right now. It's so weird to me that The Last of Us is coming out in like 2 weeks.
Right, it is.
That's odd.
That's happening. And then Ghost of Tsushima, and then once we get to September, like that, then we're hitting the ground running. We'll talk about that later in the episode. But Micah,
those 2 games, Children of Morta, and I think Children of Morta is back to its regular price now.
Still worth it.
They're really good games, both of those.
Been enjoying it quite a bit. Micah, you've played a new game called Indivisible.
I was going to pick this game up like 2-3 weeks ago, and I didn't.
Yeah, I picked it up a couple weeks ago when I saw it on sale. It was on sale for something ridiculously cheap, and I was like, "All right, whatever." There's a brown-skinned woman on the cover. Let's do this.
What did you get it on?
Switch.
Okay, yeah, it was on sale for like $17.99 on PS4. And I was like, because it looked really good, but I don't know. So go ahead.
So it's a role playing platformer,
Right.
and the main character is this girl named Ajna, who is your stereotypical spunky teenager, and one day her whole village burns down, and she sees her father and dying right before her, and she sees his killer, and they fight each other, and then after the fight, all of a sudden the killer is absorbed into Ajna, and she can speak with him in her mind. And this game has southeastern Asian influences, right? Like I want to say Indian, but I don't know for sure. Um, and you can go into like the inner realm and talk to all of your party members, because you can do that with multiple party members that you meet. That's one of the ways that they can justify having a single character running a long screen for the adventure, but all of a sudden an entire party of people are there to fight some rabbit or whatever, right? They absorb them into her mind. The way the game plays is kind of unique. It is so when you're not battling, it's a platformer straight up. Like you have it's a like a Metroid clone. You get certain things to certain areas are blocked off. You advance in the story. You get an axe, and you can open up different passageways and stuff like that. When you get into battle, the battle system is real time, and each member of your party is mapped to a button, and you press that button to do the action for someone. So if you press X and B at the same time, two people will attack at the same time, but you have to wait for your cooldown before you can attack again. The further you level up, the more attacks you get to use, and you can modify your attacks with up and down and the buttons. So it's a real-time turn-based action platforming role-playing game, and that sounds like a lot, but it's very good, and it's not easy. It's not easy managing everyone at the same time in real time, but I do enjoy it. Now, it's made by Lab Zero Games, and it looks beautiful, right? It's hand drawn, and it's made by Lab Zero Games, the people that make Skullgirls. Now, one of the heads at Skullgirls decided that he was a funny man, and made a joke about not being able to breathe as he was commenting on a fighting game. And so, if you're still kind of hypersensitive and you don't want to support them, I get it, but you'd be missing out on a good game, because I really enjoy it. I think, Terrence, you might like this game. That you don't usually play like a bunch of RPGs and stuff, do you?
Not recently, but I've played a couple in the past.
This is I think both of you would dig it. It's the main character can be kind of annoying, but she's likable. Just like she's not the worst character I've ever seen. And yeah, indie games. You're supporting indie games. Apparently, when it came on the Switch, Lab Zero didn't know that it was released on the Switch. They were like, "What?"
Oh, it came on the Switch fucking last month.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, goddamn.
So
Well,
yeah, I dig it.
If they have a demo, I'll check it out. I played the demo for Trials of Mana, like the new version that they did, and that was enough for me. It's that real like cutesy, like way too jovial anime style. No, if I play any version of that, I'll play the 16-bit version that they redid.
Yeah,
I like Secret of Mana, but I didn't like the 3D version. It wasn't very fun. There's only one new game this week. It's called Demon's Tier Plus. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and a little console called the PlayStation Vita. Get this game as well. I'm assuming it is going to be prominently released in Japan. So,
Demon's Tier.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a hyper like anime looking game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, well, it's coming on the Vita. That's all. If there isn't any new games coming on the Vita, like that's all. That's the only type of thing that's going to get. And that's it as far as like new stuff. Again, we are struggling through a relative lack of new releases.
Yeah. I don't think any of us are getting The Last of Us. So you got till July before you hear us talk about anything AAA and new. If you want to know what is coming out in July, you can go on the internet, and while you're there, you can go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. You can see Terrence's background of the day when you go to youtube.com/densepixels. Hit that like and notification bell to be. I watch so many YouTube clips. I should know what people say at the end of these things, but I don't. I generally tune out.
I always say at the end of the videos on Budding Watch Enthusiast, if you like it, hit the thumb. If you loved it, click the red subscribe button.
There you go.
So.
Hey, here's a secret. You can hit the thumb up or the thumb down. It doesn't matter. It's engagement. So do whatever. Do whatever. Like I was like, HCG's like, yeah, if you liked it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Like, why are you telling people to give it a thumbs down? Oh
yeah. Yeah.
I used to watch a channel that said if you don't like it, hit the thumbs up twice. So can't remember which channel was it. Maybe
that's funny. While you're on the internet, subscribe to all the TMP Studios podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, the flagship show, Black on Black Cinema. We just did a movie that everybody should not watch. Everyone should not watch this movie that we've done. It's called The Help, and it's not that good.
Have you seen The Help, Brad?
No.
Good. Yeah, of course. Of course not. Get out of here. Brad watches good movies. Coming Distractions.
Kingdom Come.
I feel like I need to clarify because this came up on Black and Black Cinema last week. I have not seen Kingdom Come. I mentioned it as a joke because LL Cool J has been in a lot more things more proud than Kingdom Come. So it's funny to mention an obscure movie that was not good that he was in when referencing him. I've not actually seen the movie. I'm just aware that he is in it.
Okay.
Coming Distractions will be coming eventually, I guess. What we'll probably end up doing is because a lot of these things are being released on VOD, maybe we'll save some of the bigger ones and not include them in the first section of the Nerdpocalypse and just do Coming Distractions. Because I
definitely want to watch. It's a Blumhouse movie coming out next month or the end of this month. It's like You Shouldn't Have Left or You Shouldn't Have Come Here or something like that. Kevin Bacon's in it.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe that can be the triumphant return.
Yeah, You Should Have Left is what it's called. I'm all about it.
There you go. That means that it's either sad or horror or both. And
it looks like horror.
You get the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. While you're on the internet, go to densepixels.com/premium. And for $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the premium slate of podcasts, including The Airing of Grievances, No Time to Bleed. We just did Aliens for No Time to Bleed. A movie that I don't know if a lot of people have seen. So you should check that out. It's really good if you like science fiction.
Wasn't it directed by a very obscure auteur as well?
Yeah. It was Catherine Bigelow's ex-husband.
So a real indie filmmaker then.
Yeah, Jaime Cameron, if I think his name is.
So listen to that. It was a great episode, and I had a bunch of revelations, and then the three of us had a bunch of revelations.
Yeah.
And,
Jesus Christ. I still can't believe that shit.
And the Men with the Golden Tongues will be returning soon. That's not just the thing that I say at the end of the episodes. Like, it's actually going to be returning very soon. Upstage conversation with Carrie.
I think there's an episode releasing this week, the Bob by Birdie episode.
Excellent.
On that, so.
And the full episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. I haven't seen.
I'm kind of waiting for this week's.
I know. Every time it's late, it's like the Homer Simpson meme of him pounding on the fast food truck. The "Where's my burrito?"
Yeah, like I'm hitting refresh, and I'm like, "Yo, where is it?" And I need my political rantings and ravings from the Bacardi and Cola of political podcasting. So
I'll give you a teaser about for the new episode. Look forward. Andy made a joke about something the president was going to do, or but just joking, and then it happened today.
Jesus Christ!
So, come on.
There's a tantalizing teaser for you to listen to this week.
Have you all listened to OAN? I haven't.
Why would you?
Because I'm curious, man.
Are you
curious? Yes, I am incredibly curious. And it's just like the Great Value Fox, right? Like they have a bunch of young women who are like amateur porn star attractive, I guess. And they're going around and they act like it's adorable. It's adorable that they feel like they're doing real news, and it's a shoddy operation. But yeah, it's whew, goodness gracious. That is state-run TV.
It was One American News Network or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. That's state-run TV.
Jesus
Get the fuck
Christ.
out of here. But yeah, that's the ad read. Sorry, it's long. I'll try to shorten them, but I got a lot to say.
So, quick programming notes. Of course, the PS5 reveal event, which was delayed, is happening this June 11th, so Thursday, at I believe what translates to like 3:00 Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. The one that I have in front of me has it listed in like British Standard Time, and I can't remember.
This is 4.
Oh, okay, 4:00.
4:00
British
on Thursday.
I think the British are 5 hours ahead of us.
Depends on where daylight savings is sitting.
Yeah,
theirs is different than ours. But so that's coming. Expect to hear our thoughts on that next week, unless something just that we cannot wait a week to talk about is shown or revealed.
Yeah, if they're like the PS5 is coming out and it's coming out July 3rd, like what?
But getting on to the relevant news. Look, we knew it was happening, but I still got fucking excited when I saw this story pop across last week. The release date for the remade version of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, which is called Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
It need to just be like, yo, no, remake. That's it.
I didn't like that one as much. I usually think that those titles are silly, but I think in this case, it's not too bad. But that release date was leaked, and I'm using the biggest air quotes possible, leaked by THQ Nordic. It's coming out August 18th. The screenshots look really good. The art style looks a lot more, I don't know, I guess refined. Like the original game had a Diablo-esque art style. This looks a little bit more I don't know what the term I'm looking for is. It just looks better. It looks better than the original version did, for sure, as I would expect it to 8 years later. But yeah, so it's coming. It's going to cost $39.99, which is an awesome price. They could have easily probably charged $60 and would have been fine. And then there's a collector's edition. It's going to be $110. It comes with a 8-inch statue of one of the characters in the game.
That's excellent.
I am so ready for this. I cannot wait to play this game.
I never played the DLC.
I've heard it. I heard one was fine.
There's two things of DLC for
Yeah.
this, but I never played it. I played this game several times, but I don't think I ever played with the DLC.
I bought this game and didn't give it a chance because my character looked like Terry Crews. And
well, again, this was another one of those type of games though that was it was hurt by its release date, because this I distinctly remember this literally came out 1 month before Mass Effect 3.
That was it.
Once Mass Effect 3 came out, this game got shoved off to the side. And it was one of those things where, you know, you went through 2/3 of it and then you were like, oh, I'll come back to it. And then when you go back to it, it's like reading a foreign language that
Yep,
you don't know.
that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I'll give this a shot because everyone's seen it. I trust your opinions, and everyone else seems to like this game.
It's
So,
just, like I said, it's just fun. It doesn't
This is
take
just
itself too seriously. Which
Right.
is
The
something
combat system is really dope. You will like the combat system.
Yeah.
Imagine like the Devil May Cry RPG. It's not that deep, but it's kind of like you have two weapons. You can switch between weapons and shit. It's kind of dope. It's that's why I liked it so much. The story, I don't know what the fuck happened in the goddamn game. To be honest with you, I don't remember.
It's also one of those like types of games that so it does the thing where you have like the three different skill trees, and you know where you invest your points determines abilities that you unlock. But they like respecing in the game is so cheap. Like they encourage you basically to respec like crazy if you want to play around with the different powers and play with different builds and stuff like that. So
It lets you play how you want to play and switch up if you want. So it's fun.
Yep.
Like they just made it easy to play.
cool.
All right. For some reason, Sega is celebrating their 60-year anniversary by releasing a Game Gear Micro in Japan. Now, the Game Gear for me, first of all, like when I say micro, I mean this is like
It's the size of a PS Vita.
No, it's smaller than that.
Is it?
It's pretty small.
Because
Did you guys ever have
original-
Did you guys ever have a Game Boy Micro, like the little rectangular?
Oh, wow, what the fuck?
Game
I
Boy
don't want
Advance?
to play this.
I saw a Game Boy Micro before. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is
The
tiny as
game-
fuck.
The Game Boy Micro looked like it was about as big as this Logitech camera that I'm looking at.
That would be accurate.
Yeah,
it was
it's pretty
so
fucking small.
it was so small. The Game Boy Micro was that if you remember the size of the Game Boy Advance cartridges, like literally half of the cartridge would stick out from the bottom of the system when you had it loaded in there. So like I said, this thing's going to be about $50, and when it comes out in Japan, it's going to have different colors, and then it's so dumb. Each color is going to have a different selection of games preloaded onto it. So like if you get the black one, it comes with like Sonic and one of the Puyo Puyo games and Outrun and Royal Stone, and then if you get the blue
You're
one,
trying to play Outrun on this little ass thing. Man. I can't play Outrun on a big TV.
if you think you can't play Outrun, Terrence, how do you expect to play Gunstar Heroes on
Get
this?
the fuck out of here.
That's one of the games.
Love that game. That's one of my favorite games. Playing that on a 2-inch screen, if that.
Yeah, I don't think this.
No, that's impossibility. That's an impossibility. Yeah.
Now, and look, say what you will about this device. If the battery on this lasts longer than 2 hours, then it's not living up to the reputation of the original Game Gear.
It
Did
took
you
like
guys-
17 batteries. I had one.
You had
I
one,
had
okay?
one too.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
ask, because I don't think I didn't own one, but I had lots of friends that did. So I didn't know if you were one of the people that owned one, or if you were
I had
one
one.
that just
Yeah,
leased off your
you
friends.
have to buy a 50-pack of batteries that'll last you for 3 days.
Or the adapter. The purpose.
I don't even know what type, for people that have never had one or seen one or held one, I don't even know what type of piece of electronic, what product would even compare to it, because it was so big and so like, like, but it was just like a weird shape, right? Like you could build a house with a bunch of Game Gears. Like that's how big they were. Like
and heavy too. They were not. They were.
yeah,
not.
man.
Yeah,
like
they were big fucking yeah.
Jesus. So, like I said, if you are feeling nostalgic about the Game Gear, you can try to import one of these guys. None of the game selection is incredibly good, but then again, it's also very like Japanese centric. There's not a whole lot of great U.S. releases. Not that there were a whole lot of great U.S. games that came out on the Game Gear in the first place. So, yeah,
Game
still,
Gear.
still tiny guy.
You remember the Neo Geo Pocket?
I don't know
You
anyone who had
it?
one.
I had one.
Was that the
It was like
was that the taco phone one?
No, that was the N.
no, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
there you
no,
go. The
Neo Geo
N-Gage.
Pocket came out in like 99, 2000 or something like that. Yeah, I had one, and it had like a little pocket King of Fighters. That was actually a really good system. It wasn't full color. It was weird.
And it probably cost $500.
No, wow, my black ass wouldn't have had it if it cost that much. It was, I think it was like 100.
That's shocking considering how much the Neo Geo.
Yeah, how much the original Neo Geo cost. I had a friend of mine who was white. He had it.
You didn't have to add that qualifier.
Huh?
Yeah,
He
white
had a
people
Neo
can't even
Geo.
own shit anymore. That was like he was white.
Yeah, I mean, the thing cost an arm and a fucking leg. He had
$600 back in like 1990.
I'm like, how the fuck did he afford it? I'm like, I think
Right.
his parents sold drugs or something. I don't know. Anyway,
I still will never understand. I mean, not that they lasted long, but it blows my mind how like the 3DO and the Neo Geo and the Atari Jaguar like even existed. Because
I don't know how the Jaguar existed.
I knew one person with a Jaguar.
Yeah,
and
me
he
too.
only had one game.
What it was, a Tempest 2010, 2000,
No,
or
he
the
had,
Predator game.
Yep, he had the Alien versus Predator game.
Yeah, those were the two games my friend had.
And
Alien
didn't that
vs.
controller
Predator and
look like a
Tempest 2000?
that controller looked like a telephone pad?
It had
it
like a 9-key layout or something like that on it. It was fucking weird. The only time I ever touched one was at a convention at the Maryland State Fairground. I don't remember what convention it was, but there was some video game thing going on down there, and I played one for like 5 minutes, and that was my only experience with the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, this thing is what the fuck is going on with this controller? Yeah, I remember this shit.
There's quite a bit of EA news this week. The first thing is that starting last week, you can now get your EA games on Steam. They finally gave up trying to do their own launcher, their own storefront. So now you can get the Dragon Age games, Crysis, Need for Speed, Unravel, the new Command and Conquer, collection that they're doing, all this other stuff. Now you can get on Steam.
That was a remaster, right?
Yes, yeah, that's coming soon. Notably absent from Steam though, Battlefield 5 not on here, FIFA 20, Sims 4, and Apex Legends are not in this first wave of releases, and there's no news as to whether or not they will be making their way to the service.
If you already bought it on Origin, do they give you a Steam code, or do you just have
a ridiculous question? Of course not. No way to the case. Who are we talking about here? Transfer your purchases over.
Hey,
you'll be lucky if you get to keep your save data.
Oh yeah, you most definitely won't be able to. Like if you want it that bad, you should want to play it again.
I don't think Origin is actually, it can't be inoperable, because if they still have, if they haven't brought all the games over, like Origin probably still works.
Yeah.
So you just don't get the benefits of Steam, like your friends list and all that other jazz. They did turn around. EA did on one point though. We talked a couple weeks ago how EA was taking the simple smart delivery system that Microsoft has devised and finding a way to complicate the shit out of it when it comes to the upcoming Madden 21. Well, they've since reversed course, and now they have said that if you buy Madden 21 on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you will be able to upgrade to Madden 21 on the newer consoles for free up until Madden 22 releases in the summer of 2021, which is the way to do it. Like, good job. Like,
Yeah.
way to let common sense reign, idiots. Arguably the biggest news for EA, though, is that they have added cross-play to Need for Speed Heat, the first EA game to have cross-play in its arsenal. So if you are playing Need for Speed Heat, you can now play with your friends on PS4, Xbox One, and PC across all platforms. Again, no indication on whether or not this is something that you're going to see coming to other EA games, but I'd have to imagine that this is kind of the equivalent of the slow rollout, tested in a game that no one's actually playing, and then make sure.
I was about to say, who the fuck plays Need for Speed Heat? Like, I'm like, does that okay?
Well, look, like I said, if you're gonna break shit, don't break shit in FIFA or Madden. Break it in Need for Speed. Listen, work out all the bugs and then bring it to the other games when it's good to go.
Like, more people play the culling than the fucking Need for Speed Heat.
I don't
the
know.
Fuck is like, you sure? I don't know. I don't know nothing about Need for Speed Heat. When did that come out?
November this past year.
Yeah,
So it's been out for a little bit.
My dumbass bought it, and
is that the one in Miami where you race at night and you get like money, and you race during the day, you get points or some stupid shit like that?
yeah, it's a very convoluted system to try and make you play like I would rather just have a day-night cycle, man. Like and just let me do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't know. It's not that great. I say this every time a racing game comes, but I think that's it. That's it. I'm not getting another. I'm not getting another racing game until the next Need for Speed game, apparently, because I'm a sucker.
Well, I'm sorry. It's probably not going to come out for 3 years anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. Finally, sentient alien Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, had said that the NBA is considering piping in crowd noise during broadcasts when they resume their season starting at the end of July from using audio from the NBA 2K series. Now, a lot of people are ridiculing this. I understand. So basically what's happening, the NBA has figured out a plan to finish out the 2019-2020 NBA season. They're going to start it back up on July 31st. It's going to take place in Orlando entirely. Like, all the teams will be there playing in front of an empty arena. Now, soccer's been back in some countries for a little bit here, and they're playing in empty stadiums right now as well because of the coronavirus situation that's still ongoing around the world. The first week when it came back, I watched, and it was weird listening and hearing like how you could just hear the players yelling at each other and how quiet it was. It was different, but it was definitely very strange. And then starting the week after that, they started piping in crowd noise over the top of the game. And the fact is, the way that the angle is for soccer telecasts, you don't see very much of the stands during regular action like you do when, camera cuts for between plays or, someone scores a goal and that kind of stuff. But if the crowd noise thing wasn't that bad, because if you didn't know that there wasn't fans in the stadium, you might not realize it until you saw those different shots. I don't know if that's going to work the same for the NBA. It might look stupider because you get to see more of the crowd during an NBA game at all times.
Yeah, like unless they're going to change the camera angles to the way NBA 2K players play the game,
right?
It's not going to look right. And then every time someone has to go to the free throw line, like, it's just going to be, what they're going to turn it up. They got a different button for booze.
Home and away.
Right.
Who's
like,
home and who's away?
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
Like, somebody going to hit a buzzer beater and you're just going to hear, like, nah, yo. It's going to be weird, man. It's going to be weird.
In South Korea, baseball came back. Don't they? Yeah. They had like plushies in the stand.
Yeah, just so it looked, just so the stadium looked full.
Yeah, I
guess that's pretty funny and something that's very on brand for South Korea. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be very odd. I don't see, like, watching that. I'm like, just again, it's gonna be like watching a fucking wrestling match with no audience, which people have been doing for the last 3 months. But it just, I can't do it.
I mean, even they caved on that. Like first AEW did it, but then WWE followed suit, where they have like NXT recruits in where the audience would be, like standing up and cheering and doing all that stuff now.
Yeah,
which makes it a little bit more natural, but not entirely.
But not really, especially when you realize that they're being told who to cheer and who to boo for, and you know, it's just kind of, it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, like I can watch it now. I wasn't watching when there was no crowd. It's just too odd. It's just too odd to me. Like why these grown ass men like flippity dippity and like for nobody's entertainment. Like nah, but I like the sparse crowd thing, but pumping crowd noise, and like you said, if you see empty chairs, then well, one, it's purely for the benefit of us, right? And two, if you see empty chairs, it's not gonna feel right. So what's the point in doing it if it's for us, but we can still see that no one's there? I don't know. I'm not poo-pooing it. I certainly would like to see it, just to see what it looks like.
Maybe they'll not only take the audio from 2K, but they'll also put the digital crowd. They'll somehow superimpose that into the broadcast as well.
Hey, why not? You can use augmented reality.
That would be pretty ingenious if they did that. I don't know how well it would work, but it could be done. Or you could do, there was this like college basketball game that existed for the Super Nintendo. I don't remember what it was called. But because it was SNES and they didn't have the capabilities to actually do a crowd, basically like you had the court and you had the elements that were on the court, and then everything else was just this blue void that existed around the basketball court. So maybe you do that. You just put a green screen up around the court, and then you put in whatever background you want for the games.
Yeah,
that'd be weird.
That'll work. Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon. When you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon for all your Amazon purchases, you help us out by giving us a little bit of finder's fee. You don't pay any more money, and it helps the show. I'm at www.densepixels.com/Amazon right now, and I typed in NBA, and you can get yourself a basic fun Connects NBA Game Day full court set, hardwood classics edition building set, Lakers great gift for boys, and an ampersand ellipsis for $49.99.
Dude, I used to love Connects back in the day.
It's 3 stars, 40 reviews. And yeah, you can build and play all day. And
this isn't Connects. These are fake Legos. What the fuck is this?
This is I don't know.
This ain't the Connects of my youth.
This is off-brand Lego.
What?
This is off-brand.
Did Connects sell out of the construction building realm that they exhibited and just went to the fucking fake Lego brick style? When did this happen? Why didn't I get a memo?
I'm gonna need Lego to either A, make hair pieces for all different types of hairstyles, or B, just saw off that little nub on the top of a bald player's head. And first of all, some of them ain't even bald, and they still got
that. It looks weird as shit. Like Larry Bird has like hair paint on his head, but he's still got a bald nub sticking out. Say what you will about Lego, they would have gone the extra mile and gotten the Larry Bird early '80s hairdo.
Yeah, they would have got the mop to put on his head, man.
Right.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. It looks ridiculous. Get this GoBot shit out of my
Allen
face.
Iverson might look the most ridiculous. Because he's got the cornrows, but again, the top of the head is just
it's really it's very unattractive Lego and fake Lego.
And what the fuck? You're paying $50 for just a flat fucking court that you have to build the basket on either end? Fuck out of here! I'm upset.
Why is this Legos? Why? This is not Connect. I had the Connect roller coaster set.
I had the Connect roller coaster. I used to love that fucking thing. I love it.
Yo, what the fuck is this?
Awesome.
This is not Connects.
This is not Connects.
There you go.
Sold out.
If you if you want to get
Now they're no better than Duplo or other off-brand.
if you want to get this fake Lego set and have your Lego Wilt Chamberlain have a bunch of little mini Lego babies from all across the country, go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon.
Good Lord. So Micah stays in that Need for Speed trap forever. I will always be super hyped whenever Bungie drops a Vidoc for the not a Vidoc, but a video for the new Destiny content that's coming. And today is a very big day because not only did they detail the new season, which starts today, but they also detailed what's happening in Destiny 2 Year 4 and in Year 5 and in Year 6.
Wow.
So they're fucking doing it. So the season of Arrival starts today. If you go into the Destiny world right now, Micah, you might not know this. The Almighty, the Cabal decided to take revenge on the Guardians by hurtling the Almighty toward Earth. That was the entire last season. It was slowly hurtling towards the Earth. And
what the hell was Bobby Lashley doing in space? I have no idea what the Almighty is.
It was that giant Cabal ship that was trying to blow up the sun that you infiltrated at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
And basically you got on board with Rasputin, who you find out is not just a cold machine, but it learned like human emotions and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so Zavala can trust him now. And Rasputin blew up the Almighty, but it debris flew everywhere because it's a giant fucking ship and the tower's partially fucked up again. But now the darkness is here. And if you go to the different destinations in Destiny, there's pyramid ships all over the place. That's the new season. This new season, they added a new dungeon that has to do with the Nine. There's all the normal trappings that new Destiny seasons have with new exotic quests and things like that. But the most exciting part of this was they shed the details on Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which is going to be the next big expansion, which comes out in September of this year. There's a new destination called Europa. The Exo Stranger from the original Destiny game is finally returning. Europa is an icy moon of Jupiter, where the darkness was apparently successful, or it's going to be related to the darkness in a huge way. The biggest news here is that there is a new element added to the game for the first time ever. Like even back to Destiny 1, it's just been Solar, Void, and Arc. And now they're adding a new element called Stasis, which is the powers of the darkness, basically. So you will get to wield the darkness powers in some way, shape, or form. So there's going to be all new subclasses, all new weapons, new damage type. People have been asking for a new damage type in the game for a long, long time. And that's coming now as well. There is a new raid called Deepstone Crypt. Of course, not a lot of details on that quite yet because they're going to save some stuff for later on. And then they talked about the next 3 years of Destiny. So we already know what the big expansions in 2021 and 2022 are going to be called and what they're going to focus around. In 2021, we have Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, where we get to face Savathun, who's been kind of a thorn in our side during all of Destiny 2 from the shadows. And then 2022, it's called Lightfall. And the image that they showed was basically a pyramid ship on top of the Traveler, essentially, like over top of the Traveler. So that might be where everything really comes to a head. They also talked about how because the game is expanding in, like, Destiny 2 is a huge fucking game now at this point. Like, it's enormous with all the content they have in the game. They're going to start vaulting some of the content that's not getting played. So, like, old strikes that aren't being played a lot, possibly some of the old story missions, maybe even raids, but I think they'll be hesitant to do that as much. But they're going to start vaulting content away that they can then bring back later. But part of that is they're now going to be bringing back and remixing some Destiny 1 content as well. So in the fall with Beyond Light, the Cosmodrome will be a destination that you can go back to. There are 3 strikes from the Cosmodrome in Destiny 1 will be playable, including the Sepsis Strike, which everyone, if you played the Destiny 1 demo back in the day, has played that strike. And Vault the Glass is being reworked and is coming back into the game starting
kind of fun
this fall. I'm looking forward to that because I never did get to play Vault the Glass.
That's cool, man. You know, it's amazing that they have really been able to kind of grow this platform in a way that, I mean, I don't know for 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure they wouldn't have been able to do if they were still under Activision.
As someone correctly pointed out, if they were still under Activision, you'd be getting Destiny 3 later.
Right, exactly. So it's very cool that these people can continue this thing that they obviously love. Yeah, they're not bullshitting. I hopped on to Destiny because I heard this thing was coming out, this doc, and I said, well, I haven't been on Destiny in a long time. Let me hop on. And I hopped on, and I had to wait for an hour of updates. And I hopped on, and I saw the director, and I just said, yo, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know where to go. I don't know what point in the story I am, because that's one thing about Destiny that I will give it. Like, the lore in Destiny is really interesting, and I would love it if this was like a television series. But
you missed all the shit that just happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
like Fellwinter, one of the Iron Lords, was actually an exo that was like Rasputin kind of commandeered and injected like his personality to, because he was basically Rasputin just walking around, and because Rasputin wanted to learn about humanity and wanted to learn about humans and understand what they were like. And then when he died, when Fellwinter died and got revived as a guardian, of course, when you become a guardian, like, all of your past life memories are erased. Like, Rasputin killed him and created the Siva outbreak that from way back in fucking Destiny 1 for the Rise of Wolves expansion, because he was jealous. Like, because it was basically like he treated him like he was his son almost.
Yeah, see, like I miss stuff like that, right? But I fell off, and I feel like there's no way that I can catch that train again.
That's what happened when I tried to jump back on, like, early last year. I'm like,
well, no. and that's why they talk about that they're trimming aspects of the game, because it is just too much. Move. Like, when you walk into there, it's just way too much shit going on. And like I said, you vault something, make it go away for a while. And what's the old adage? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Like that strike that you played 100 times in the past, 2 years is pretty boring now. But if you don't get to play it for 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden it comes back, and you get those nostalgia feelings again. And
yeah,
especially if they remix it and revamp the content a little bit as well. So that's really cool. They also said that with the way upgrading will work, they're keeping it same platform family. And so if you buy this expansion or the season pass on PS4, when you get a PS5, you're good to go. All the content comes with you. You don't have to rebuy it again. Same thing with Xbox. If you buy an Xbox One, when you get a Series X, all that stuff comes with you. They're enabling cross-play in the same family of consoles. So, like, PS3 players can play with PS4 players, PS4 players can play with PS5 players. Xbox One players can play with Series X players. And they said they're hoping 2021 they can get cross-platform play in the game, is what their goal is.
Wow.
At this point. So the dream.
Yeah,
if they can get it there. So yeah, like I said, I am but here's the problem though. This comes out, this new expansion comes out in September.
Nope. So, even if I wanted to.
Right, Cyberpunk coming out, and then once we're done with Cyberpunk, well, fuck. First, Kingdoms of Amalur comes out, then we're gonna be playing that into September. Then fucking Cyberpunk drops, and that's gonna probably take up a good 2 months of time. And then fucking Assassin's Creed comes out, so like it's just be nonstop, like game after game. It's gonna be tough to get back into, and Destiny's a game that it demands your time, man. Like it's not a game that's easy just to hop into for half hour here, an hour here, and then hop out. Like when you play, you want to play for a good period of time.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I was watching old videos and previews of Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I can't wait for that game to come out, man. It just everything about it, the aesthetic, the way it plays, the story, like it just, I cannot wait for that game to come out. I kind of hope we're still on quarantine when that game comes out.
So we go to the Dense Pixels post office. You could ask your questions. We answer some of the show. Malcolm asks, when can we expect the Kenta cloth from Brad? You guys haven't sent me mine yet. I'm really disappointed. When I saw House Democrats were all wearing them, I thought that was going to be new standard issue for white people. But no, it's not. It's not coming in the mail. I shouldn't expect it.
I don't mind the occasional pandering, but you don't need to do all that, man. You don't need to do all that. Although the memes have been very funny, right? Like one of someone who's just like, "Hey, I have my friends coming over, and one of them's black. Don't embarrass me." And then it's a picture of them in their kente cloth and shit like that. Like, all right, yo, all right.
And then he also says, shout out to Johnny Bellfield's cousin, Punishment Martinez, for having the match of the weekend at NXT in your house. I'm glad that he changed his name to Damien, or that they changed his name to Damian Priest, because Punishment Martinez is a ridiculous ring name in an industry full of ridiculous names. Fun fact, though, I did get to see him at the house show I went to last year have a really good match with Keith Lee. That was like a 25-minute epic. It's a really, really cool match for someone I hadn't fucking heard of. Punishment Martinez at that point, aka
Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, that was his name. And they realized that was stupid, so let's get a new name. Gaston asks, perhaps the question for look forward. No, it's not. Your question is perfectly appropriate in this setting. Do you think gaming companies that have commented on recent protests and Black Lives Matter are being genuine? Are there any companies that you plan to avoid going forward due to their lack of response or disingenuous commentary?
No.
I believe any of these companies are genuine.
No, I really don't. It's
period.
It's Jim Sterling did a thing about it being June, and June is Pride Month, and like clockwork, every company everywhere that's not like overtly bigoted switches their logo to a rainbow logo, and then June 30th or 31st, however many days are in June, at 11:59 they turn it on.
Right.
So no, I don't think. I mean, on the one hand, like it's nice to see, but no, a corporation is not benevolent. They want your money, and they realize that they want to be on the right side of history. Nobody wants to be out there, waving the flag of a bigot, which is a white flag, because they surrender and give up because they bitches. And look, I get it, like wanting to be on the right side of history. I appreciate that. It's nice to see instead of saying absolutely nothing, but I don't believe they're genuine. The only one that might be genuine is maybe Ubisoft, because they have two broken arms, because they are quick to pat themselves on the back, especially for Assassin's Creed games, by saying that this game is made by people of every race, color, creed, gender, sexual orientation, and all that. And they only do that they honestly, I think they only do that because if a bunch of white people are making a game about assassins in Egypt, that's not a good look. You know what I mean?
So
A bunch of black people making a game about Nordic assassins. Like, what the fuck do you know about it?
Well, but at what point, I don't know. It's hard. I definitely think that I agree with you that most companies, and we're talking about game companies in general, most companies probably are just, like you said, trying to make sure they're on the right side of history. I think there's some genuine attempts. So, for example, during the Bungie stream today, they have their countdowns. They have their countdown that starts like 15 minutes before the stream starts, where they go live on Twitch, and there's this countdown clock. After the countdown ended, they started the stream with a count up, basically. That was 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And during that time, they basically posted, like, you know, the typical thing you expect to see, like, we need to do better, we need to address racism, Black Lives Matter, here's a bunch of Black Lives Matter, like, charities and places that you could donate to, and they did a lot that felt somewhat genuine, and that's bolstered by the fact that Pete Parsons, who is the head of their PR firm, was literally in Seattle on the streets protesting over the weekend. Like it was, you know, on the ground stuff. So I think there's some folks that, you know, are definitely genuine, because think about it, game companies, game studios, people that are in tech tend to be a little bit younger usually, probably more liberal, you know, so I think there are a lot of folks that do have those genuine feelings. It'd be cool if they can get their, you know, representation a little bit better. They're hiring, that kind of stuff. So
you wanna show support? How about we see some black faces in there? How many black people did you see in that video documentary?
Well, to be fair, in the Vidoc, it was literally just Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy being socially distant apart from each other. So I get why you might not see a lot of there. Okay. But I take your point.
And it's not just like we need more black people and I need to see more black people, right? Like it's not just that. Like, I know, you know, I live in the real world, right? But it's, I don't know. Part of it is me, because I feel I'm taking this really hard, like harder than I usually am, because
I think most of us are, honestly.
Because you got a son.
Well, yeah, like I got a son, but like, you know, you grow up and you're taught that you know, at a young age, you know, back when you were indoctrinated by, you know, saying a pledge of allegiance to a country, right? Like,
when I stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance, you know what grade I was in?
First.
Nah, sixth grade. Once I got to middle school, I was like, nah, fuck that.
Right, like you're indoctrinated with that stuff, right? And it works on kids, man. It worked on me, right? I'm probably at least out of the three black people on this network, I'm probably the most like, hey guys, America's not that bad.
Yes.
And I feel and it just hit me this year, partly because of my son, that it's just a big betrayal, right? I've been betrayed by my country, and I care about it so much, and because I feel betrayed, like it's hit me in a level that it has never hit me before. And if there's one thing that you do not do in the 9, almost 10 years that we've been doing this, is you do not betray. So I'm rapidly running out of fucks to give for this country. But that's neither here nor there. I got to focus on this video game.
So Johnny
it's
asked,
not easy.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. I don't believe any of these fucking companies. Fuck all of them, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, look, the ones to be concerned about are the ones that are seeing this moment and still managing to find a way to come out with like that can't even say Black Lives Matter. That's still
Yeah, if you can't say it, fuck you, yo. You can't. Fuck off, yo. You can't say the words. Nah, yo. Even Call of Duty, the fucking weekend warrior redneck.
By the way,
training ground.
You know that there was some there was a fucking hell of a lot of white people that were pissed off they were forced to see.
Oh yeah,
didn't it pop up when you turned the game on?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't think I turned Call of Duty on.
And if I didn't do it myself, but I have to imagine that they probably had like the delayed prompt where you couldn't just like get rid of it.
Yeah, you had to read the shit.
Like you had to sit there and wait a second.
Put it there as a loading screen. Fuck that. Make Black Lives Matter messages your loading screen for all video games. And watch how quickly the loading situation in video games gets solved.
For the rest of the year. Yeah, every video game that comes out should have a Black Lives Matter fucking splash screen at the very beginning. On for 10 seconds before it goes to anything else.
So Johnny talks about the gaffe, Micah, that you referenced earlier. The creator of Skullgirls making I Can't Breathe reference during a stream. Right?
Did you hear it?
No, I did not.
What did he say?
So there he's doing commentary. I think a black woman is on commentary with him.
Oh.
And one person is a 3-person commentary. One person says something to the effect of one person was putting pressure on another opponent. And the one guy is like, yeah, he's really putting pressure on him. He's really suffocating him. And then Mike Z is like, and this is how he says it too. He's like, so he's putting pressure, huh? So I guess you could say he couldn't breathe.
That's fucking terrible. What the
fuck? And he said it like he was thinking of it, and he just was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a laugh. And it was met with what felt like 8 minutes and 43 seconds of silence. Like, it was met with nothing but silence. Like legit, it felt like 10 or 15 seconds of just straight silence. And that's 1, 2, 3. Count to 15 right now in your head while watching a fighting game tournament. And yo, that's a lot of time, man. And then they just kind of kept on going. And but yo,
they said a lot. That's like the Justin Trudeau when he was asked about.
Yo, that was fucking funny as shit.
It's like sitting there, like you can see him like literally. You can see his wheels turning as he tried to figure out the best way to answer the question that wasn't completely running down your closest ally.
I thought they had did some kind of camp. I thought they had taken a clip and just looped it. It was like 30 seconds. He was like,
and he went he kept trying. He go to speak. He's like, no, I need to back to the drawing board. Like I said, his first instinct of fuck that guy. That's not
right. That's funny what he wanted to say. Like, fuck that nigga, yo. Like, I can't say that. I'm a fucking diplomat. Yo, it took every yo.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious fucking gaff.
Yo, that's
to say the least. And Mike, the way you're telling it, that he clearly he's
listen to it.
I got it.
Listen to it. I'm telling you. He knew what he was doing, and he was like, so I guess you could say he can't breathe. I'm like, what the fuck?
Why would you say that?
Oh my god. That's pretty good. Cam asks, which game studio is most likely to fuck up and try to make a game where a racist cop is redeemed through bullshit, and why will it be owned by Microsoft? Look, no game company is gonna be stupid enough to do any kind of fucking thing like that.
No major company. No, if you see something like that, it'll be some indie shit that you see on Steam.
Yep, I would agree. James asks, my question is for Micah, the true baseball man of the show. How excited are you for Long Gone Summer, the ESPN 30 for 30 about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa? And Brad can chime in if there's time.
The only thing I know about Mark McGuire is that he's a steroid guy that hit a lot of home runs, and the only thing I know about Salmon Sosa is that he uses skin
Lightning
bleaching
cream.
Yeah,
cream.
to say the least.
He was as dark as Terrence, and now he is paler than Brad's shirt. Like he was
Yes.
pinker than Brad's shirt.
So
Like, it's ridiculous.
let me
It's
tell
sad.
you, Sammy Sosa like played a year in Baltimore at the tail end of his career. It was actually quite pleasurable having Sammy Sosa on your team. I wasn't expecting to enjoy late stage Sammy Sosa. This is before, of course, he decided to go crazy. But this 30 for 30 should be pretty good. It'll take you back to a time of great naivete amongst baseball fans when these two guys were mashing homers like no one ever had before, and no one even thought to think for a second if they were steroids. Besides the fact that Mark McGuire literally did interviews at his locker with fucking steroids like in the locker behind him. No bullshit. But it wasn't against the rules at the time, so no one really cared. And then to connect it back to video games, James asks, what is everyone's favorite sports-focused game not titled NBA Jam or FIFA?
NFL 2K5.
Sports game for sports focused game.
Yeah.
Does NBA Street count?
Sure, why not? It's not NBA Jam.
Yeah, I'm copping out and saying NBA Street.
That's totally fine.
Volume 2.
I played a ton of baseball games growing up. Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball was very good. You know what? I played the demo for Super Mega Baseball 3. That game's actually pretty fun. It's a lot more in depth from a simulation standpoint than you would expect a game that looks like it does to be. But it's still pretty accessible. So it's
Yeah, that
ain't worth $45, I don't think, but it's still pretty good. But yeah,
that's about it.
I also played the NHL series for a lot of years as well. Let's see. Carrie asks, my daughter's just started playing Streets of Rage 4 and is really enjoying herself. What are some more games in the genre that I can point her toward?
Malcolm
I
gives
was
the
about
correct
to say
answer.
that. River City
River City
Girls.
Yeah, River City Girls is fun. It's basically two friends. It's basically the River City Ransom guys
Mm-hmm.
get kidnapped and their girlfriends save them.
Yeah.
I would also recommend Castle Crashers as well. They did a remastered version of that on Switch, and I think Xbox One as well. It's an older game, came out back when the 360 was relatively young, but it's really fun, and then you can play it together also. It's just really wacky action. Pretty good. And Leonardo, will end with him. He asks, do you think, and this is probably more for a good question to ask Micah, this question, because as his son gets older, these are the type of things he'll have to figure out. Are the Yakuza games appropriate for a 9-year-old? My sister enjoys watching me play, but I usually refrain from doing anything too wild in the game, like the strip clubs and such like that, while she is watching.
I've played 1, 2, and 0. No.
Yeah.
Like no.
No.
They are
Like,
not.
Even side quests, like one of the
Yeah.
side quests in one of them games is you have to track down somebody that's like a serial panty stealer. Like there's a guy going around stealing panties, and
Isn't that Judgment?
oh, they all run together to me. But and that's Judgment. That's the one where you play a cop, not the one where you play a hardened gangster. So no, the stories in the Yakuza games, while Yakuza is very silly, the stories are kind of heavy sometimes, and then they kind of delve into. It's a lot of like pervert humor in those games, a lot of like Japanese pervert humor. So I probably wouldn't recommend a 9-year-old watch you play it. Because you'll be like fighting a group of gangsters for another gangster, and then you'll do a side quest where there's just a guy walking around in his tidy whities or some shit like that. Like it's, I would not.
That's it for the post office. If you guys or in our fan group, densepixels.com/fans. You can submit questions to us when we post those up on Monday, and you can see we answer as many as we can on the show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, as well as all the other TNT Studio shows. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/densepixels, and follow Terrence and Carrie on Twitch. Terrence is Apparition410, and Carrie is Suffix Carrie on Twitch.
I streamed some Power Rangers the other day. Yeah,
Still on that Power Ranger kick, huh?
it's a good game, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching this, and we'll see you all the next time.
It is.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.